you're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've had some showers where just the faucets were $20,000 for,
Oh, gosh.
to
Yeah.
plumb the shower, so
Yeah,
now I gotta start worrying about how it's gonna supply hot water for the shower.
yeah. And going through that, going through the design principle,
We had one, it would drain down a 50-gallon tank in 3 minutes.
Wow.
So, it just wouldn't work. Yeah.
So if you were to use tank technology, that a homeowner like that would they would put in 6 tanks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense.
No, I've seen some where they put in 2 90-gallon tanks, and
Yeah.
high BTU, 200,000 BTU tanks, but still,
Yeah.
tankless is the way to go.
Yeah.
I use multiple.
But you gotta figure out, do I need 2 units, or 3 units, or 4 units?
Nice.
Warm in high school used 9. And in schools, it's great because they have to have so much standing water per shower available. Well, I don't know how often the showers are used in the
Yeah,
schools
exactly.
Yeah.
now, but I know when I grew up, we hardly ever showered at school. So they had hundreds of gallons of 140-degree water sitting there.
Just being stored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Having multiple systems and, using what's the alternative to that is using boilers, right? Having
Yeah.
a boiler. What happens if your boiler goes down?
Yeah.
If you have 2 boilers, what happens if one goes down? You lose 50% capacity. Tankless, certain tankless units running in tandem, tankless unit goes down, 1 out of 10 perhaps, you lose 10% of your capacity. So there's a big design difference there.
Hotels too. Really
Yeah.
nice.
I find the mechanical guys, like, I've got a cottage, not like yours, but we've got a cottage, we're there every weekend. There's just 2 of us, but there's 3 bathrooms, one upstairs, one on the main floor, and one in the basement. And the mechanical guy came, and it's all restricted flow shower heads, and there's no chance that there's ever gonna be 2 people showering at the same time, not to mention 3 or 4. And they wouldn't, we had asked about a tankless, it'll never work for you, you should put a tank in. You start, now that I know better, you just go, gee, this would have made so much sense, plus we're not heating that water for the 2 weeks when we're not there.
That's right.
Very, very few houses that I've needed more than 1 heater.
Yeah.
Very few.
Well, at a cottage, you never would.
No.
No, yeah. And cottage is a great application too, because you're not there all the time.
Well,
so.
that's what I'm just saying, you start thinking about these numbers and you go, well, I'm not using it anyway.
Yeah, the savings.
The only thing you have to be careful of when you put these in a cottage, some people have this light switch by their door. When they hit that switch, it kills all the power to their cottage.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guess where our freeze protection is?
Yeah, that's 115 credential, yeah, you can't do that.
No. So we've changed a couple heat exchangers for some
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
in cottages.
So what happens there?
What
They're
happened?
freeze protected with ceramic heaters on the heat exchanger. But when you shut the power off, that heater no longer has freeze protection. With the direct vent on a really short vent configuration, minus 35 outside, that heat exchanger will get,
Yeah,
it could
you got
freeze.
standing water in that heat
and
exchanger.
burst.
But there's also a drain down system that we offer where
Yeah.
you can actually, the minute the power goes off, the system will completely drain right
It's
out.
hard to believe for $250, people just
Yeah.
don't want to stand
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, you gotta educate them then to the point where, hey, this is what this freeze protection is there for. Leaving 120 volt potential there. It's not being used as potential.
Yeah.
It's only gonna be used when the temperature goes down to,
I'll explain to you what that is. It's 2 solenoids underneath with the valving kit. If power's ever cut off, one solenoid closes, the other one opens, it drains the water out of the heater because it's now lost its freeze protection.
Cool.
So you get a half a gallon of water spill out on the floor or down the drain.
Is that safety?
Yeah.
Peace of mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I've sold so few of those things.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
that's a.
Well, yeah, you have way bigger problems than that if your house froze.
Sure.
If
Yeah.
your hot water
Yeah,
heaters
that's
last
true.
year,
Yeah.
you get everything else
Yeah.
freezing.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, one of your guys was mentioning something about a mini-volt system, which would be great. You mentioned that, yeah. But still, yeah, like you were saying, that's the least few words.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you could run a resistance heater in your millivolt system.
Yeah, actually, no, it's too high of a wattage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's too high of a wattage.
See, we've got a cottage version of this house, and we're trying to design it so it would never freeze. So with the passive solar, we give enough heat in it even on the coldest days, but you can't guarantee you have a 5-day snowstorm or something, right? So you need to have something in there, but if you could, you know, work through all that with the solar the photovoltaic we have up there, if you had a power failure, you'd probably be covered. But you'd need a power failure and a storm, and, you know, you start thinking about the combinations that would, it's pretty low probability of anything ever happening.
Like a tsunami and an earthquake all at once.
Well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
what's the Canadian equivalent of that? Statutory equivalent would be a snowstorm and a power failure and a,
Yeah.
But
Ice
you know, the
storm.
one thing dealing with this product is, a person will live without power for a couple of days if their house gets cold. They'll keep it warm somehow.
Yeah,
Give them a cold shower,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
they're hitting the roof. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.